No Terraria playthrough would be complete without a Hellevator, a giant hole going from the surface of your world all the way down to the underworld. Digging a Hellevator is usually a pretty involved endeavor and takes reasonable amount of time to complete, and you'll often die a few times along the way. Wouldn't it be neat if you could make a Hellevator with a single pull of a lever? Oh wait. Well, that was easy. This right here is what is called a black hole powered bore drill. A bore drill, because it allows you to dig, and a black hole, because, well, you can also transmute items from it. A theoretically infinite number of items, I should add. But we'll get to that. Let's first focus on the boring aspect, which I assure you is actually quite interesting. A fun fact about bore drills is that they can dig through literally anything. And that is not an exaggeration. I've yet to find something that the bore drill can't dig through. As an example, it can go straight through the jungle temple,
Nice.
things which are normally entirely indestructible, such as locked chests, this gives us the added benefit of being able to lockpick the chest as well. And if you want to, you can also do very illegal things, such as cutting a chest in half vertically. The keen among you might have noticed that when a bore drill activates, it creates large quantities of doors. Sometimes wooden doors, sometimes ebonwood doors, and sometimes completely different doors. And if you fly down the borehole while hugging a wall, doors just seem to magically pop into existence. This is because the bore drill is actually a door drill, in that rather than having any kind of traditional drill bit, it is instead powered by a door, which also happens to be a black hole, but we'll get to that. So how does this contraption allow us to dig to hell in less than a second? To understand what's going on, it's important to understand that the way Terraria handles multi-tile objects, such as doors, is extremely janky. The game thinks of the door as being contained in this 2x3 area. The game needs to know this because if you do something such as breaking the door, the game needs to know exactly where the rest of the door is. So if you break this bottom left tile, the game needs to know, oh, the rest of the door is 3 tiles up above and 2 tiles to the right. So it can remove the door. But what if the game didn't know where the rest of the door was? That's where the campfire glitch comes in. Wait. There we go, now it looks accurate. That's where the campfire glitch comes in. By performing the campfire glitch on a door, we can change its frame Y value, in effect where the game thinks it is on the vertical axis, to somewhere else. In our case, we're moving it from here to somewhere down here. Which means that if we interact with one of these 2 door tiles, the game will instead attempt to remove these tiles to the right and below it when the door is activated. It doesn't matter if these tiles are already occupied. The game checks, oh, I need to break this portion of door? What do I need to break? Oh, these tiles. And that's how you bore drill. An interesting consequence of moving the effective position of the door in this way is it causes a phenomena known as a black hole. Black holes earn their namesake for their ability to do that. However, the interesting thing about black holes is they can output a lot more than just doors. The very same phenomena which causes black holes to generate items happens to be the same one that also allows us to bore drill. As you can see here, whenever I transmute items, it removes a set of tiles. This is because the effective position of the door has moved. Black holes will be getting their own video, both due to complexity and because you can make black holes out of a hell of a lot more than just doors. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. But I know why you're actually here. You want to know how you can make one of these machines for yourself. Everything you need can be found in this chest here. Everything on the right is essential. You'll also need wiring, and optionally, the materials for a dummy engine or some other form of timer. These aren't actually needed in order to run the machine, except having them makes the operation go faster. Hey there, Editing Ethereal here. I figure I should point out you also don't need the conveyor belts. They merely make the setup easier to run, but if you want to do this pre-hard mode, you can substitute this with a sandstone lamp instead. How to do that will be covered in the tutorial. Alright, let's continue. Step 0 is to make sure that you're in multiplayer. If you're on PC, you'll be able to use host and play and perform this alone. However, if you're on console, you'll need to join someone else to perform these steps, meaning you'll need two people, someone to host and someone as a client to do this setup. As a final note, I haven't had the chance to completely verify that this glitch works on console, so if you want to test it out, let me know how that goes in the comments down below. But again, on PC, host and play works just fine. First, build a small platform elevated about 3 blocks off the ground. Then make a gap in that platform to place a trapdoor, and add this arrangement of tiles as shown. Next, place your bass statue on top of the sand, and add a few more pieces of wood, like so. This next step needs to be done quickly. We're going to place a block of sand here, and then block swap to place sandstone right here, as shown. You should get your bass statue back if done correctly. Then remove the sandstone, then the sand to clean up, and next we're going to make space for the campfire glitch. Now place the torch to the left, a switch to the right, and run wire between these two objects. This allows us to toggle the bass statue, which is here, but merely invisible. You'll know you've done it correctly when you can see these braking particles appearing upon toggling the switch. Next, make sure that the bass statue is in the off position, which is what this torch helps us track. Place down your campfire, and then toggle the switch 3 times. This gives us the campfire glitch, except it too is also invisible. Now expand out the right side a little bit, place your conveyor belts, like so, and a door, right here. Then, hammer the conveyor belts until they're slopes, and lastly, open the door. Now, all we need to do is prime the bore drill. Place a switch here for activation, connect the blue wire between the conveyor belts and the campfire, and then toggle the switch exactly twice. You'll notice that the door becomes invisible, and then this odd black square appears. This is a piece of a black hole. Once the mini black hole appears, connect this black hole to the blue wire, and then begin drilling. One thing you'll notice fairly immediately when in multiplayer is that there's these weird stray tiles that are appearing in the shaft. However, these tiles aren't actually real and are instead desyncs. As a consequence of this, relogging is enough to fix these tiles. Like so. This also allows us to see the invisible campfire and invisible bass statue which were hidden from us before because of a similar desync. Now all that's left to do is to dig. It can be done by toggling this switch manually, or alternatively, by putting a timer in its place. Using a slower timer such as this has the added benefit of being able to watch the bore drill dig. Honestly, it's quite soothing. However, if you want to delete tiles as quickly as possible, you'll want to connect something such as a dummy engine. Lastly, it's worth noting that you don't actually need conveyor belts to run a bore drill. Instead, it's possible to use an alternative fuel source such as lamps. You'll just need to reset it every so often to allow it to keep digging. Please pay no heed to the visual artifacts. The added benefit of this is that it allows you to drill pre-hard mode before you have access to conveyor belts. That's all I have to say about bore drills for now, but I have one other thing to add. If you like what you see, consider supporting me on Patreon. Your support helps me make more videos, and it gives you access to a Patreon-exclusive Discord server, behind-the-scenes content, and sneak peeks at upcoming projects. So if that sounds like your jam, go check it out at the first link in the description below. A special thank you to my $10 patrons, TK95020 and Jojo, for your generous support. If you too would like your name at the end of future videos, consider checking me out on Patreon. It should be the first link in the description down below.